application level events. In the application level events, your application level events is like a publish and subscribe mode. Component level is what? Bubble and catch. Whereas this is publish and subscribe. So let us say component 1, component 1, component 2, component 3. Component 1, component 2, component 1, component 2, component 3. If component 1 published, is fired. It can be handled by component 2, component 3, or else can also be handled by other people. You can also be handled by other events. So a component files, rest of the people are going to handle it. Now, if it is a component level event, at the time of registering an event, I have given a name. Whatever the name with which I have registered, with the same name I am going to refer the event in the client side controller, and I am going to say fine. Component.get event, name of the event, name what I have given at the time of registering. If you remember well, if I have given Yura register event, how did I refer to this event in the client side controller? Component.get event. This is a refer. Am I right or no? Am I right? The same thing, if I go to the application level event, story is different. So how the application level events are defined and how they are registered, how they are handled. Is it mandatory that you have to register is also a question. Application level event is not necessary to give a name or register an event. Automatically we can handle it. So we need to understand this concept here. So what is the primary point we need to give? Look at the first critical information. Once you are comfortable with the theory, then go for the implementation part. See, we are at the very beginning levels of the lighting. Now the standard of lighting. Right. So what was this? Application level events. If you look at the application level events, so what happened here? We have multiple components here. Any component which you fire the event, component can fire the event, and rest of the people can subscribe it. So when you are going for the application level events, it's like what? We have supports capture, bubble, default phases, different levels of this one. But finally, how do you create application level events? We already see the creation of event. If you want to create an application level event, Yura event type equal to application. You want to define any attributes, you can go for defining any attributes. Yura event type application attributes. What are the attributes we are giving? We are supposed to go through the attributes. Okay. Now, how do you set the parameters? How do you set the parameters here? The parameters for this event is kept in the form of map again. The parameters for that events is kept in the form of map. Key value pin. The data is set in the form of key value pin. Now, if you want to fire the event, already we have seen how to register an event for a component, how to fire an event for the component level events. Now, if it is an application, how do you register? Yura register event, name equal to any name of your choice. It is not mandatory. But if you want to register an event, Yura register event, name of your event, type, name of the application event. Then how do you fire? If you want to fire, the format in which we are going to fire, in the component, how did you fire? Component.get event, name of the event you are given, so we are able to fire. But here, application level event is not like that. In the application level event, we are supposed to go through this. What is the structure we had? dollar a dot get e dot c colon how are you getting dollar a dot get e dot c colon event name dollar a dot get e dot c colon event name. So this is how we are filing. So e dot your in case any namespace is there namespace. In my case there is no namespace, so c colon your event. This is how we are going to file. Once you file, how do you handle? Handling is the same. How do you handle? URI handler, event, action. How do you handle? URI handler, event, name. Right? The same structure like your component level. But the structure is look at the form. First, let me create an event, lightning event. Second event. Name. This is how we have defined. Event we have defined. Then go to lightning component. I will go with the component child 1 and go with child 1. In the child 1, how do you register? C colon. Then I'm reading. This is the one. Go to second. Then URI handler event I was giving URI giving name. Value 1 plus so I'm giving here this dot box. Some structure I have given. was that using attribute action. No need to give the handler name, set it to give it action. Right. Now you're defining controller. In the controller, what I'm doing? Invoke where ACC equal to. How do you get the value? Event dot get. You know. Set. Setting the value. So component 1. I'm just giving to just tell you the difference. To tell you that there are two different components, I'm just applying CSS. Right. So component 1, controller call. In the call, what I was supposed to do? Fire the event. How do you fire the event? Where $a dot get t dot c colon. What is the name of the event? Second. Set. Set params. Did we use the single quotes in the previous example? This is how we win. Then we are supposed to fire event dot. So who is firing the event? Component 1. Who is handling the event? Component 2. It is not a parent component. Now these two are child components of child 1 underscore 1 underscore. Then I'm trying to invoke this in the application. This is how I create. Let us go for a preview. So component 1 get this is not applied. Why it is not applied? I didn't keep a block there. this up. So I just want to say this complete application in which we have component 1, component. Just to tell you that both of them belongs to the same component. Now to make it more clear, applying some style on the parent component. Go to the parent component. So this is a parent component. Within the parent component we had two child components. Within the parent component we had two child components. Okay. Now go back. We have child 1, child 2. Now I am trying to create child 2. Child 1, child 2, child 3. The child 3, same story like child 2. It was the child 2. Then controller. Style. Then within the parent component, this is structure. So parent 1, parent 2, parent 1, parent is the component. We have 3 child components. When you click on this, what happened? Name equal to Satish Maila, name equal to Satish Maila. So event occurred on child 1, but it was captured on child 2, child 3. Now what is it? Previously, component level event is what? If I find my parent will handle, or its parent will handle, or its parent will handle. Okay. But whereas this, if I find, am I audible, boss? Online people. Am I audible? Online. Okay. Now, so if any one of the component fires, then all the components who are handling it, they will get the response. Now, child 1 fired, child 2 handled, child 3 handled, everyone has got the same response. Are you getting my point? So, application level event, when a component fires, whoever is handling, they will get the response. That is the reason I told publish, subscribe. Component 1 published, whoever is subscribing, they will get the notification. Right? Are you done with this? Are you done with this? Clear? Am I clear with this? People have followed this. Okay. Now let me give you the next structure here. Let me give you next structure. I hope you have followed this example. Right? How did you define? Dollar at the time of firing. How did you fire? $A dot get E dot C colon eventing. Okay. Now I will define next level example. Go to the next level. My requirement is like this. Look at my requirement. This is the parent component. I am going to give a search and cancel. When I enter the name and click on search, whatever the name I entered, that name corresponding contact should be fetched. That name contact should be fetched. And opportunity should be fetched. Now initially only this form will come. When I click on the name, if there are any contacts, that contacts will display, and if there are any opportunities, that opportunities will display. But I don't want to implement them like a single component. I want to implement them like a 3 different components, because getting the contacts and displaying I may use somewhere else. So I want to define as an independent component. Now opportunities are there. I may use. I want to write a query and get the opportunities. I may want to write a query and get the opportunities. I want to handle it separately. Are you getting my point? So what I want to do, one element, when the name changes, when I click on the search, it has to go to the component 2, component 3, run those component. The component 2, what will do? Whatever the name you entered, take that name, make a SQL query at the backend, get the corresponding accounts, contacts, opportunities, and display. Are you getting? When I enter the name, component 2 will get the corresponding contacts, contact 3 will get the corresponding opportunities. Of whom? Of the name of the account what I have given. Whichever the account name I am giving, that accounts, contacts, that account, opportunities. Now, are you planning to implement as a single one? I am not interested to implement like a single. I want to implement like a 3 different components, because I want to reuse them. I want to build it. I hope you are good with this. So first example, what I will do is, I will create this structure first. I will create the structure. Now, how will you create this structure? What is the concept I have to use? What is the concept you have to use? So if you want to break them table, what is the concept? Table. We can go for a table concept. So let us give. I can straight away give a application. With the application I can give it. table that I'm supposed to give. So I need to give a spacing for this. So not applied. Right. So we got this structure. So we are defining this. Div. So I'm going to one. I'll go with so style is not getting applied here. So okay. So I'll check it out. Fine. So basically this is the concept. Now in this, what I want to do, component 1, component 2. I want to print component 1, component 2. This is structure we received. Now I'm creating a component 1. ACC child 1. In the ACC child 1, we had an event. Okay. Right. So in the event, what we are taking, name we are taking. Right. So that's done. Your ACC name. I'll remove this to get the space there. Register event. Sequence. Then I'm going with now I'm going for this component 1, div. Here I'm giving lightning input, Euro ID, This is what I give. Now we are trying to apply some style here. Then I'm calling here instead of this C colon right, boss. So you want to give some padding also here. So go for the structure. So I require some height. Right, boss? This is a structure what I have defined. Then we are supposed to go for the second component. When I enter the name, click on the button, second component has to fire. Right? Okay. Let us go to the second component. Now I am going with the ACC child 2. First, this ACC child 2, when you want to go for it, first I was supposed to go to Apex class I have to get, because we are supposed to get data. You are supposed to search for the corresponding contacts. So what I'm doing, contact list. Now we are defining at the rate of the full stop. What is the parameter they're expecting? Then we are supposed to get list of contacts equal to account is equal to ID from account, where name equal to select. Now, this is going to give you what? List of contacts. This is going to give you list of contacts. This is going to give you list of contacts. Similarly, I want to write one more program for giving list of opportunities. Okay. Come back here. So what I'm doing now, you are enabled, you got this data. So let us go to one more class. Where account ID. Now, let us go back to the next one. Come again. Not required. These are the fields which I want to fetch. This is a where condition. Okay. Now, let us go to the child 2. In the child 2, what I am doing? I am trying to use this class. Child 2. This component 2 is trying to handle the event. Handler event c.acc, then action invoke. Then it is going to give an attribute here. Name equal to value equal to once you get the data, I want to display the data. How do you display? Your iteration, then your iteration. Did you go through the iteration element? So what are the elements we have? Iteration. What next? Items equal to, then. So what did you do here? We used to give apex page block table value equal to var equal to. Same story, instead of value we are giving items equal to. What is items equal to? V dot var equal to same story. Same story. Now I want to display like a table. So contacts, so last name, same story I'm repeating it. Now here it should be a dot attribute value. Where is that value? Okay. Now we are supposed to apply the style. Style for this, the same story I'm applying here. Here I'm going to give width sufficient, height sufficient. Okay. Now go back to this. Look at this child component. When event is fired, this is going to handle. When you are handling it, I have to define a controller. So what is the controller here? What is the name of the controller? Invoke. Here what I was supposed to do, where name equal to event dot get then I was supposed to call action, where action equal to component dot get c dot component dot get c dot. What is the name of the method we have given? Name of the method we have given is get. Set params. What is the parameter I have given here? Exact name we have to give, ACC name. Then what is the name we are passing? Set the parameter, then invoke the action. How do you action? Action dot set. Action. Then check the state, where state equal to run type, get the return value. Then we are going to say component dot set v dot this is what we have got. So what they are doing? Whatever the when event is fired, the event name, whatever the parameter they passed, I took that parameter. Then I call this apex class method by passing that parameter. Then we got a list of contacts which I displayed, which I kept to my list. Are you getting my point? When event is fired, the name of the name which they are passing that I captured here. Then I am invoking apex class method with the name as a parameter. Then we are getting a list of contacts. When you are getting a list of contacts, then I assign to the my list. My list is displaying the data. I hope you are good with this. Go back. What was this basically? Component 2 I have to define. Only child 2. Right, go back. No border here. Now I was supposed to apply this. This is how we got it. Right. Now let me go and see which account has the contacts. I'll take the account which has a contacts, which has more number of contacts, so that you can get the better output. So no method call. So go back to the client controller. What is that controller? Show. Did you define show? I have not fired the component, right? I have not defined the controller here. So what is the controller? For component 1, I have not defined the controller. So here what I was supposed to do, EVT equal to first where name equal to component dot find name where EVT equal to $a dot get off E dot C colon EVT dot set EVT dot find. So go back. So right, boss. So what about the first name? We're getting the data, but what about the first name? There's some bug here. Let us go back and see the class, last name, first name, then component 2, case sensitive. Go back, have a preview. Right? Are you getting? Now, why did I do that? I might have done in a single component only, but I want to reuse that component. That component now I can use somewhere else in some other functionality for the reusability. So when the event fired, it has called some functionality. It has called the component 2. When event fired, component 2 is handling. When you are handling it, automatically it's calling the client side controller, which is making a call to server side, getting the data, displaying the data. Did you get my concept here? Did you get my concept? The same I want to apply. The same I want to apply for opportunity. Can you complete the code for opportunity now? Can you complete the code for opportunity? Write the component for opportunity. Did you get my point? Is the concept is clear? Have you followed? Followed or not? Okay. So let me do it one more time. Let me do it one more time. Look at this. First I am creating component. Example child 1. This component has, I am giving, I want to create lightning input label till here. Any query? A basic component with one input text and one search box. Then I am registering the event. Here are register the event. So when you click on this, on click, what is happening? Search. When you click on the search, so what I was doing here? When I click on the search, what I was doing? Where name equal to, how do you read the value? Component dot, because I want to read the value based on ID. Find name dot get b dot value. Once you get this, what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to call the event, where event equal to, how do you call the event? Component dot get, what is the name of the event? Sorry, this is application level event. So what I was supposed to do? $a dot get e dot c colon. How do you set the parameter? Parameter ACC name fire event dot fire. Anyone has any query till here? No query, right? Okay. Now for this component, I want to apply some CSS style. Black. This is the component 1. So component 1, when I click on the button, this is called, this is going to invoke, this is going to call event. Event is fired. Now I am going to component 2. I am defining component 2. What this component is giving? Controller. What is the name of the class I give? Contact list. Am I right? Contact list. What is the name of the method I give? Get call. Get call. What is the parameter? ACC. Then you are attribute name equal to type equal to. Is this clear? Basically, then I am giving div TR. The headings, table heading. If you want to go for a loop, we dot. This is what we give. Is this clear? We are building a table with a TR. First row will have headings, second row will have data. Now, how will you get this data? Because we are URA handler. We are handling the event which is fired by component 1. So what is the event name? C dot. When you are handling, what is the logic you want to do? This is the logic what I want to do. What was that? Undetermined expression source 12th line. Then I was supposed to call controller. So what was that? Invoke. In the invoke, whatever the data that is passed by component 1, the data I want to read in component 2. So how will you read the data in the component 1 to component 2? Where name equal to event dot get the parent. Then I want to call an action where action equal to component dot get. What is the name of the method? C dot. This is the method from Apex class. Invoke the method from action dot set. Then we had action dot set callback. Now what you are supposed to do? Get the response where state equal to response dot. Now we are checking if state equals to success where result equal to component dot set. This is how I'm doing. Now what was this? Check the status. It will be. commutator 2. Then check the status. If status is 2, get the values. I hope you are good with this. The same CSS I am applying here. Right. Now we are going to join all these things in a single application. Writing application. Writing application. Example colon child 2. I'm going to go to application, apply, extends. Have a preview. This is the structure what I received. The point submit not firing. Now let us check the mistake. What was the name? ACC name. Component dot find name dot get C was missing there. Okay, go back here. Let me debug. Event dot set params ACC name or event is ACC name only, right? ACC name. So set params ACC name. Okay, this is fired. Then child component 2 URA handler event ACC name action invoke. Go to invoke. What I'm doing, event dot get param ACC name. First let me check here. So event is getting fired there. I gave control to alert. So till here everything is perfect. Then we are passing that name component dot right. The mistake is controller contact list I have given. Let me check once again. Contact list. Contact list. Okay. Then a component dot get C dot get call. Yeah, somebody has mentioned it already. What was that? NQ action. I have forgot to mention it. $a.nq action. So we have mentioned it. Now let's go back to the application again. Search. This is available, right? I hope you're good. I hope you're good. Once you down the line, when you go to tab panel, detail, then when you change the value, the corresponding data list has to change. So let me give you your context level, your example here. Now look at this. Now, what was this? When I change here, the contacts has changed. Now this is what? Whichever the record I selected, the corresponding contacts are getting displayed here. Corresponding opportunities are getting displayed. So what happened? In the component, list of records are here. In the component, list of records are available here. Whichever the record I am clicking on, now the component is coming. Whichever the record I am selecting, the corresponding data has to come here. So component 1, component 2, component 3. Component 1, component 2, when I say charter data, detail data are getting, basically it is a master component. In the master component we have number of child component. When the change happens in one component, the change should happen on another component. So here, what type of event will we use? Application level events. I hope you got my point. So communication between component to component will take place with the help of events. How many types of events we have taken? Component level events and application. Component level events can be handled by the component or its parent component. Application level events can be handled by anyone. I hope you are good. So component 1, when any event occurs, browser event occurs, JavaScript will be called. JavaScript will fire the event. When you fire the event, component 2 will handle it. When you want to handle, go to JavaScript. JavaScript will make a call to server to JavaScript, JavaScript to component 2. I hope you are good. People are good with this example. People have followed this. Everyone has followed, right? So that's all from my end. So next class